All right, in this lesson, we're gonna do the different backing lessons. So first we're gonna start with backing up using a steady pressure. And for this, I'm just gonna be pulling backwards on the halter toward the horse's chest, starting very gently and then increasing the pressure every 3 seconds until the horse backs up and releasing. So my audio didn't work for this clip. It didn't work for this whole day. So I just have to do a quick voiceover, but I'm just barely holding here and she's backing up quite nicely. I'm holding the pressure because her ears are kind of sassy. So she's great at doing most of the lessons. The issue I've been having with her though is that she just gets offended and gets defensive. Like right there was really nice. And so I'm just holding until she backs up nicely and then brings her ears forward, softens her face a bit, and then I reward that. So those last 2 tries there were really nice for her. So I'm just going to move on to the next one since she knows it. So I'm just going to back up using the whip from the side. So I'm using my stick here. You can use a dressage whip, lunge whip, driving whip. It doesn't really matter. It's the same thing. I hold it up horizontal to the ground and then I'm just going to kind of wave it, getting a little closer each time. Here I'm tapping her and she's just kind of moving and not backing up. So I just increase the tapping every 3 seconds and then she backs up and I release. So right there, I released even though her ears weren't great because she was really sticky. That one was better. But I'm not gonna ask for everything in the beginning if she's super sticky. That was really nice. She backed up and had her ears forward. But that's what I'm working on right now is she backs up well. It's that she just has a cranky face when she does it, so I'm trying to just take care of that. So there she backed up nicely, had her ears forward, so I clicked and rewarded her for that, and I clicked while she was backing up nicely, like while her hoof is in the air and her ears are forward. So it's kind of, you gotta multitask and look for different things, but it really pinpoints the behavior for them, and then it just brings out the motivation by feeding them food for the reward as well as releasing the pressure. And then I'm gonna just give her a minute to just settle here before I ask again. And then I always ask again with the lightest amount of pressure and then increase it. So here I'm getting a little closer and she's backing up, but she's still got those cranky ears and there that right ear flicked forward. So I went ahead and clicked while she was backing and had the ear forward and rewarded her. So she's doing quite well. Here she's lifting up that left front foot because she somehow like released the pressure when she did that and she kind of thinks that's part of the backing. She still does that sometimes now, which is weird, but you can just see like they're looking for every little release of pressure. They're really paying attention because I somehow rewarded that. So that was a decent backing effort. And then I'm gonna try from the other side too. So you don't have to do it from both sides, but it is helpful to have it from both sides. And I like these backing lessons just for just everyday things like grooming, keeping mind your space, leading, tacking up, all kinds of stuff. And for her, she has a tendency to just like creep up like and wanna be right next to you. So we do a lot of backing lessons with her. I'm just tapping her a little bit, there. So that time she backed up and then had her ears forward, so she didn't really do it both at the same time. So just release, I always release the pressure, but I'm only gonna click and reward when she's doing like super good. Or if she's learning something for the first time and I'm just trying to break it down in exercise to kind of shape it, to get it going the direction that I want. I'm just kind of waving it and then getting closer and then I'll take a step toward her too. That was decent. Wave, get a little closer. Get a little closer, tap her, good. So she backs up decently. It's just the ears we're working on. So her ears aren't great. They definitely look better on camera than they do when I'm up there. But I just want her to like work with a better attitude and like have a better attitude about that. And through the positive reinforcement, you can really shape that. So that's what I'm working on with her. So we're gonna work on the next lesson here, which is backing up using the whip from the front. Basically the same thing as the side, you're just directly in front of the horse. So I like to do the side first because you're a bit safer in that position, and then do the front and it's the same thing. I just like to stand up straight. You can use a verbal cue, I say back, and then I go ahead and start waving my stick toward their chest, increasing every 3 seconds until I tap them. And then if they're just like, increase your tapping and they're still not moving, you can kind of step toward them and shake on the halter as well. I don't have to go quite that far with her. She's fairly sensitive. There she put her ear forward and while she was backing up, so released. She's pretty good about that. I'm gonna let her keep this distance away from me and kind of think about it. She's licking her lips here. thinking about what she just did. So all that's really good. Just give her a second here. She can stretch down and relax a little bit. See, I stand up straight, start shaking or waving my rope, and then or my stick, and then I'm gonna step toward her. Here she's kind of avoiding it off her right shoulder, so just go with her. If they want to avoid, just keep going with the same amount of pressure until they back up straight. Do not reward sideways steps, do not reward forward steps, but don't get like super intense, like they're moving to the side and you just get like much more intense with your pressure. Just keep going and then just reward that back up step. Okay, so again, good steps, wait for those ears. They just barely tip forward. So I'm gonna click and reward her. So again, I'm just clicking the really, really good moments. I am releasing all the good moments though, I'm not ignoring those. The click is just for like, oh, this is excellent, and try and shape that behavior to be more of what I want. If she's not really getting it and she's backing up, but the ears aren't great, like, or she didn't put as much effort into putting them up or backing up, I do release, always release, but I just don't click those moments. So it's more like a gambling, gambling type situation. So she's trying, like, she's like, what am I gonna get a treat? You know, what do I do to get the treat? If she got one every time, she would put less effort into it. So on to the next one here. This is the last one. This is the one she struggles with most. It's just backing up from rhythmic pressure from the lead rope. She doesn't like having that like movement under her jaw. And she just, lots of horses don't obviously, but she just has a big reaction to that. So I'm just starting out really light here. My hand's open, just got like in 2 fingers. And then I just increase it. There, she backs up. Had decent ears. And I'm not worried about having the head up. That'll come down over time. I just want her to learn the cues because safety is the main priority. You gotta have the cues to back your horse out of your space. It's just, they sometimes get too close to you. They're big animals. We want to stay safe. So yeah, it's not going to look pretty in the beginning, but backing up is very important. That was good. It's nice light backing response. So now my body positioning went from relaxed to straight up, and then I'll go back to relaxed once I release my cue. So there, she backed up, brought her ears forward, it clicked. I'm gonna wait for her. She's being kind of nosy and wandering up. So when her head's tipped away, I'll go ahead and feed her. So I have like a habit of like, as soon as they click, my hand goes into my pouch to like get the food, even though her like face could be looking at me and like coming toward me. So I'm trying to break that habit right now. My hand will just go to it right away. So I need to like wait until she's got her head away and then grab it and feed. So that's what I'm working on there. Or I'm not working on it there, but that's an example of what I'm working on. It's just a habit now. Okay, so she had a minute to think about it. Stand up straight. I'm gonna stay back, and then I'm just barely shaking the rope. It's a decent back up. Just relax my body language. She can hang out for a minute, stretch down, and look around. So she's completely relaxed. She's doing this quite well. I'm just showing how I would go about training a horse that has like a grumpy face or an ear pinning issue. It's just, you don't want to really release that pressure until the ears come up. So they're doing the behavior or the exercise, but you just want to keep going and not increase it, but just keep going until the ears come better. And they don't have to pop really forward like they're alert, but just relax a bit and come forward a bit and not be quite as pinned, and just reward that and then build up to a better and better expression. So you got to be aware of how close you are to the fence here. Like I'm getting close to the fence. So she's like a little reluctant to back up here. So I'm putting a little bit more pressure. She's not that close to the fence. She's not going to bump into it. So I'm still asking her to go back. But I am going to give her a bit more space here so she feels like she can back up. So again, stand up straight, stay back. I'm just going to wiggle my wrist. Then I wiggle my forearm. Then I wiggle my whole arm. And then I release and reward her. So that was a good effort, so we're just gonna end the lesson on that one.